Okay, we're on Hattie Lane here in the Nuttings Lake section of Billerica, and right behind this house here is the right-of-way, and this is the southern deviation point. At Heritage, I showed you the northern deviation point. This is the southern deviation point. This is where the narrow gauge and the standard gauge came back together. And everything to the left is heading towards Bedford and is now on both standard and narrow gauge right away. Everything to the right is split. The narrow gauge went more towards the lake, and the standard gauge went more towards the foot of Town Hill. So it's right down there in the woods behind the house on the right, where the standard gauge and the narrow gauge deviated at its southern point. Okay, we're here at the hotel in South Billerica, and right around here is where the railroad track went through and crossed over Route 3. The standard gauge crossed over Route 3. Route 3 went in about the late 1950s, and the railroad crossing was a grade crossing. Of course, the track was abandoned in 1963, so but the track would have came across right around here and would have gone over somewhere over there. And there is remnants of the right-of-way over in that area. So that will be our next stop, and we'll be coming closer to the South Billerica Station and where the groundbreaking was for the narrow gauge. Okay, we're at Technology Park Drive here in South Billerica, and right over there, as you see, is where the track would have come in from. That's looking towards Route 3, where we just were. Of course, Technology Park Drive did not exist at the time the track went through here, as this place was built up in the early 90s, and so the track had been abandoned some 30 years when all this new building came in. So I'm looking towards Route 3 that way. So the track, I'm standing on the right-of-way, and as you can see, John is walking down the right-of-way, and the right-of-way is pretty clear right around here. There's a little post right there. Don't know what the post was for, but this is where both the narrow gauge and the standard gauge would have gone. And right around the corner there is Asterisk Way. Of course, they built a street right on top of the right-of-way, and we'll go over to Asterisk Way and we'll see where the South Billerica train station was and where the groundbreaking was for the narrow gauge, where they began the construction. Okay, we're at the end of Asterisk Way, which is built right on top of the right-of-way. That's where we were just a few seconds ago, near Industrial Parkway. As you see, the path is coming right here, and pavement starts here where the street ends. And this is where they want to put the bike path. And we'll soon just turn around and we'll be at the Springs Road crossing where the South Billerica Station was and the groundbreaking. And here we go down the right-of-way. This is where the narrow gauge and the standard gauge went. They're now connected, and they will be all the way to Bedford. This is Asterisk Way. Built right on top of the right-of-way. Damn shame. As we come up here, this is Springs Road. This is where the South Billerica Station was. This is where they had the groundbreaking for the narrow gauge in May of 1877. And it was open from this point to Bedford in November, and then in December all the way to North Billerica. If we pull up a little more, go right onto Springs Street, on Springs Road. This is actually where the narrow gauge hiking path begins, which is in the town of Bedford. You can still see ties. If John would stop. Back up. You still see the ties there. Right there. Oh, nice. And even though the South Billerica Station is private property now, you can still see a little diamond sign right there that was part of the station.
I gotta move.
Okay. Okay, we're here at Bedford Springs. This was a little resort in the town of Bedford right up on the Billerica line. We are in the northern part of Bedford. And this was called Bedford Springs. And there's the right-of-way of the railroad. Perfectly preserved by the town of Bedford because they own it. Smart. The narrow gauge and standard gauge went that way. We're looking south towards Bedford. And of course, we pan back out. John reading the history of Bedford Springs, Fawn Lake. This is where the station would have been. The station of Bedford Springs. And of course, right over there, across Sweetwater Road, is the right-of-way. That's looking north towards the South Billerica Station. And so this is Bedford Springs. Okay, this is the Fox Hill Road crossing in Bedford. We are not too far outside Bedford Center. We're approaching it. That's looking back towards Bedford Springs. That's looking north. John again. And that's looking south towards Bedford Center. This is the Fox Hill Road crossing. Here we are at the next crossing in Bedford. That's looking towards Bedford. That way, that's south. And as I come around here, that's looking back north towards Fox Hill. Springs Hill Road, where we just were. And this was a little flag stop station here. This is Springs Road. Well, here we are at the Great Road in Bedford. This is routes 4 and 225. And this is where the standard gauge and narrow gauge crossed over. As you can see, it's now a paved walkway, recreational trail. That's looking towards Bedford Station. And at Bedford Station, they actually have a replica of the narrow gauge track along the walkway. So when we get to Bedford Station, I can show that to you. That's going to be the end of the line. So we pretty much got the whole Billerica and Bedford Railroad, and on our way back, we'll show you where the narrow gauge went through Billerica, where they deviated.